guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I am aware that I have been MIA for the last couple of weeks and I feel super bad about it. It was not my intention to skip out on my videos. I am going to be posting every Wednesday as per normal from now on. From now on in, is that right? Anyway, so life kind of got in the way and it just became really challenging to film with having Raphael around. So if I am speaking a bit soft, that's why. He's currently napping in his stroller. We just got back from the clinic to have him weighed and so on. So he's sleeping. I don't know how long it's going to last, so I'm going to try and get through this video as quick as possible without rushing too much. But yeah, I am back in full force, guys, and I'm going to just pick up from here and start posting expat and Netherlands related material every Wednesday. So today's video is about the things that I love about Dutch people and the things I love about living in the Netherlands. So for some people this may seem slightly premature just because, you know, we really haven't been here that long. The 2nd of June will be 2 months that we've been here. So in about a week or so, we've been here for 2 months. So that really isn't that long if you think about it. But I think that we've been here long enough to know, you know, what we like, what we don't like. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. And let's start with number one. Okay, so the first reason I love So the first reason I like Dutch people is because they are just super friendly, super polite, super chatty, like, and I'm so surprised about this because before I moved here, I was of course like YouTubing the hell out of the Netherlands and Dutch people just to kind of be prepared for, you know, what we were going to get ourselves into. And so many people were saying, you know, Dutch people are unfriendly. They're really direct, which often comes across as them being rude and so on. And so when I came here, I was just bracing myself because I was like, oh, you know, I didn't know what to expect really. I just thought, oh, they're just gonna be such crass people, you know. And it has been like the absolute opposite. They are so, like, literally walking down the street, walking in the park, walking in the supermarket, like people always greet, always smile, love to make small talk. They're always stopping me to say hi to Raphael, you know, when I'm out for a stroll or whatever. The neighbors are super friendly, like always greet, always ask like how it's going, you know. And even just in the service industry in general, you know, if you're going to a restaurant or like, I don't know, like the drugstore or like just the supermarket or whatever, you always get a, you know, goodbye, have a nice day, or you're welcome, or like they're super friendly. Like I love it here. Like it's just so nice to be in a country where people just have that level of respect for each other and they're just so chill, like they just radiate like good vibes. So love that. Dutch people, super friendly. Honestly, super friendly. Okay, so I'm ready for number two. What you don't know is that my battery died in between number one and number two. Raphael woke up, I had lunch, he had lunch, like just like life happened in between number one and number two, but I'm back and I'm ready for number two. So if you're hearing random screams and things, that is why. But this is mom life, guys, so we just gotta roll with the times, I guess, right? So anyway, jumping right in. If you see me looking down, it's because I have my notebook here. I've just made some notes because I am a serial rambler and I very quickly get off topic. So I just made a few notes so that I don't leave anything out. But at number two, we've got the Dutch people are really outdoorsy, really laid back. And I know what you're thinking, but no, that is not the reason why. I think just the Netherlands being so lush and so green and having just lakes and water running through everywhere, and just the biking and just the whole atmosphere and the environment here just lends itself towards, I don't know, people just being so much more relaxed than maybe, I don't know, in busier cities or whatever. But they're so chilled and they're so relaxed, and they love park life. They love going out to the park and just, I don't know, throwing down a picnic blanket and relaxing with their family and friends. So they love swimming, they love just going out on their boats when the weather's good. I don't think the weather's too much of a an issue for them though, because I've, you know, been outside when it started raining, and of course I was like, oh my god, I need to get out of the rain, I'm getting wet, and they are just carrying on as if nothing is happening. So I don't think that weather's a big issue for them. I think in general they just love being outside. Often you'll see them sitting outside on their front porch, or just, I don't know, having a drink or a meal outside in their front garden. Also, if you walk the streets here at night, it's not uncommon to see them, and I wasn't spying on anybody, I promise, but most people's windows, or at least curtains, are open, or their blinds are down, so you can kind of see in. You know, they like to dim their lights, put candles on. You'll see them sitting together eating as a family, or you'll see them sitting on the couch reading or whatever. So they've got a really, I think they're really laid back and chilled, just naturally. But I think that the environment over here definitely helps that along as well. So second thing I love about Dutch people, very chilled, very laid back. So at number 3, we have got most Dutch people speak English. Like, I had no idea. Of course, I asked loads and loads of people on Facebook groups that I joined before I arrived here, people who, like other expats basically, and they said, oh, don't worry about it, like most Dutch people speak English, but I didn't really believe them until I got here and I realized it for myself. I'm gonna go ahead and say that about 90% of Dutch people speak English, of which 50% speak really good, like conversational English, and the other 40% speak just enough English to kind of convey the information, or convey what they're trying to say, or speak just enough English to kind of answer you, basically, you know. So that definitely is a huge plus. Also, you know, they're not funny about it. Like, if you ask them, you know, do you speak English, or if you just go ahead and speak English to them, they, you know, they don't have an attitude about it. They're not like offended, you know, like some other Europeans maybe, if you didn't speak their language. So that's super helpful, because as you can imagine, you know, moving to a country where you don't speak the language, trying to get around and trying to get life set up can be really, really challenging. So yay for Dutch people speaking English. Okay, at number 4, I have no idea why I numbered this. Was I going to number it? I actually don't know if I was going to number it. I don't like to number things. But at number 4, we've got the Dutch people are really social. I'm going to put number 4 and 5 together. Dutch people are really social, and they're really patriotic. And I realized this when we experienced our first King's Day here, which was a few weeks ago. If you didn't watch the video, I'll put the link below so you can go and check that out, just to get an idea of, like, you know, what kind of people they are. I was really, really surprised, because I mean, it was my first time just experiencing them socially, and so it was really, really nice to see just how they come together and just, you know, celebrate, especially a day like King's Day, which is, I think, really, really important to them. So just like walking down the streets, we had like loads of flags outside people's homes, like they all hoisted their flags, you know, at the actual, in the actual town itself, people were like dancing in the streets and, you know, having a good time. I don't know, being out with friends and family, you know, sitting outside at restaurants, having a meal, having drinks or whatever. So they're really, really social. The other thing that I really like about them, which, and I love this because I'm South African and we do this as well. If you're South African, you'll know what I mean. Like, we love when the weather's good, or even when the weather's not good, but specifically when the weather's good, we like to barbecue, or we like to braai. I think they use the word braai anywhere else in the world, but in South Africa we call it a braai. Everywhere else people will know it as barbecue. We love to barbecue. So whether it's in your, you know, in your front garden or your back garden, or whether you go to the park, I see lots of Dutch people actually go to the park and they'll barbecue, and I love that because it just reminds me of home. When we lived in the UK, which is where we lived before here, you didn't see an awful lot of that, mostly because the weather is not great that often, even in summer. So you didn't even smell loads of barbecues happening. So, you know, I loved when, you know, we did several walks to and from town over a weekend, for instance, and if the weather was really good, you would actually walk past people barbecuing in their front garden. And I love that about Dutch people and about living in the Netherlands, because it just reminds me so much of home. Okay, so for now, I'm gonna go ahead and say that those 4 things are the things that I love about Dutch people so far. I'm pretty sure that as time goes on, I'll find more things that I love about Dutch people, but for now, definitely love those things about them. It definitely makes a big difference to just, I think, your quality of life as well. You know, being surrounded by people who have generally good energy and a good lifestyle. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the things I love about living in the Netherlands now. There may be some of them that kind of overlap with what I said about Dutch people, but I'm not gonna number them. I'm just gonna quickly run through that. I'm gonna make use of my notes because I don't really remember what I wrote down, and I'm going to ramble if I try and do it. So if you see me glancing down, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that at number one, just aesthetically, the Netherlands is beautiful. We haven't been here in winter. I have no idea what it looks like in winter. I do know that it snows though, so it can only be beautiful, but I'm talking about summer now because we moved here in spring. Technically it's not summer yet, but we moved here in spring, and I can only imagine that summer's gonna be as beautiful or more beautiful. But it's so green here. There are loads and loads of trees and shrubs and just flowers in people's gardens. This is obviously the country of the tulip, so lots of people have tulips in their garden, just like all the colors. It's just beautiful and amazing. Also, just the bird life here is really abundant. I mean, if you had to walk, like just sitting at my dining room table with the windows open, if I had to close my eyes, it literally sounds like you're in a rainforest. Like you can always hear birds chirping, and it's just the most peaceful, most serene sound, and I love that about living here. Also, just the lakes and kind of, I don't think it's correct to call it rivers. I think it's more considered lakes that run through either like through houses or through parks, or I mean, it's just everywhere and it's beautiful, and it really just contributes to that whole feeling of like calm and relaxation. So I love that. And the other thing, it's just so natural here, and most of the parks in our area, again, I don't know if it's only like this here or if it's like this pretty much everywhere in the Netherlands, but I'm obviously speaking from my point of view and from my experience. Just having gone to the 4 or 5 parks that's within close distance to where we live, it's not uncommon to see sheep on the side of the road, or swans just like chilling on the lake. Or we've gone to quite a few parks where they've got like a little little farms where they have, like one of the parks here called Merwestein has got reindeers, like who knew. We've got all kinds of ducks and birds, and what else did we see? I've seen a bull, I've seen goats, chickens, like all kinds of things, and it's free. I mean, it's just a lovely place to raise kids, because it's just they can really be out in nature all of the time. Like nature is really always at the forefront of life here, I think. So yeah, I love that about living in the Netherlands. It's really beautiful. It's really clean as well. Unless of course you've arrived here after like a festival or a party or something, but for the most part things are really clean, roads are clean, people really take pride in like where they live, and they really take care to, you know, not litter and leave their junk lying around and things like that. So that's definitely number one for me. And then moving on, I want to talk about the recreational facilities here. Of course, we have not found all of the good spots yet. We've only been here for 2 months, but we have found 2 that I really, really like and that we haven't really spent much time at yet. We kind of just went to check it out. One of them being the national park not far from us. It's called the Biesbos, or the Biesbos, so I'm not really sure how to say it, but it's a national park. We went there, again, very green, very lush, like lake running through. There were loads of people barbecuing, loads of families having birthday parties there. They also have like what I like to call like a makeshift beach. It's like just an area of lake where people swim with sand in the front of it. So from afar, it kind of resembles a beach. And it's really, really nice because the water's quite shallow, so it's really safe for kids to swim in. Also, you can hire canoes there, or just a regular rowing boat, and you can go out on the water, which is really, really nice. I love doing those types of activities. And then we also found a place called Lammetjesville. It was close to Kinderdijk, which is where the windmills are, and also a very similar setup, just the beach area maybe just slightly smaller, but also you can barbecue there, you can take a walk through the park or just through nature. Also also, I don't think that they hire boats out there, but you can maybe take your own little boat and go out on the water. And the Dutch do love to do that. Several times when I've gone out just for a walk with Raphael on a really nice day, you see them, especially people who live on the water. Most of them have boats, and they'll hop in their boats and they'll go out for a sail on the lake. So that's really, really nice to see. I love like that whole lifestyle. I love that they've made provision for kids and for families during summer. Again, in the UK where we lived, and again, this is where we lived in the UK, our experience, I'm pretty sure that there are other places in the UK where they may have similar facilities, but definitely do not have those kind of facilities. Also, the weather was never good enough to really make use of it, even if they did have. And then another thing is that one of the parks close by to us as well has a swimming pool, which is not something I was expecting to see here, and not something I've seen in a long time living in the UK for almost 2 years. So I love that. We went there one warm day and took Raphael and I let him splash around in the pool, and he loved it. So definitely love the recreational facilities that they have here. And again, it's really, really family orientated, so it's things that we can do together as a family and things that kids really enjoy. So again, really love that about the Netherlands. Alright guys, I'm on to my last two things that I love about living in the Netherlands, and I'm going to kind of mush them together and say that the transportation system here is really, really efficient and really, really amazing. There's so many ways to get to where you need to go. Just really quickly, of course, there's biking, which I have not done yet, by the way. I am still on the search for the right bike for myself, but when I get it, you can be sure that I'm going to be showing you my first ride out on the bike. But biking, a lot of people bike to the point where you actually feel strange when you're walking, because most people are biking, but most people can get to where they need to go by bike in like under 20 minutes or under 10 minutes. Secondly, they've got a train, a tram, metro. They've got the water bus, which we've taken a few times, which is really, really nice. It's a lot cheaper than taking the train, especially if you want to go to Rotterdam. It is longer though, but it's a really nice sort of cruise along the river. And you get to see some sights on the way there. So I would definitely recommend that if you are coming to Rotterdam or you're going to be in the Netherlands, definitely try the water bus. I've also seen water taxis, not tried that yet, but there are several ways. Oh, and then the bus, of course. So there are several ways to get where you need to go. Their transport isn't the cheapest, I'm going to be honest. I am comparing it to the UK, of course. But like I said, it works, you get to where you need to go, and it's really, really reliable. So that's definitely a huge plus, especially if you don't want to get a car right away or ever. In our case, we have not gotten a car yet, we just haven't had the need for it. But I think in winter it might be a different story, so definitely going to invest in a car in the next few months. But if you don't have one, you don't have to stress about it, because like I said, most people bike, and if you don't want to bike, there's a bus or a train hugely within close proximity to where you are, and you can easily get to where you need to go in a number of ways. So transportation system is definitely good here. And the last point was, and I really hope I'm not jumping the gun here or being too optimistic, but the Netherlands is definitely, from what I have seen so far and my experience in the UK, the Netherlands is definitely sunnier than the UK and warmer. Now, a lot of people or expats that I've spoken to over here have said to me, don't get used to it. One second. Like I was saying, they said, don't get used to it because this is not normal. This is all after the first week of warm weather, they said this is all the summer that there is. And I was like, oh, okay, it was good while it lasted. But then we had another week of summer and another week of summer. So, and right now it's like, I think around 25 degrees. So other than being sunnier than the UK, I also think that there are more consecutive warm days than there are in the UK. In the UK last summer, we had like one 20-odd degree day every few weeks, where here we have day after day after day for like an entire week of good weather. So that, guys, you don't understand what a big difference that makes to our lives. Being in a place where it's gray, give that to me. Being in a place where it's gray a lot of the time, and where it's not very sunny, and where it's usually on the cooler side, even in summer, really messes with your, I don't know what the word is, it really messes with you as a person. I mean, you become depressive, you become miserable, your mood is just different. Also, the lack of vitamin D is like no joke. And you don't really think about your vitamin D levels until you live in the UK. So far, in the 2 months that we've been here, we've had about 3 or 4 weeks of warm weather. And when I say warm, it's obviously relative to where we live. I mean, this may not be warm if you're from South Africa or from Portugal, but for the Netherlands it is warm, and we're looking at temperatures around 21, 22 up to about 26, 27, 28 degrees. I think the highest temperature that we've had here so far has been 26 degrees, and I mean, personally for me, that's warm enough. I don't need 30 degree, 32 degree weather to enjoy myself. And the weather was definitely warm enough to actually go to the beach and, you know, lay in the sun or take a swim and so on. So yeah guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I definitely will be doing a follow-up video on this in the next few months to see if I still feel the same and if I have anything to add in terms of what I like about Dutch people and what I love about living in the Netherlands. But for now, that is all. If you are new here and you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I would love for you to connect with us, so please go ahead and click the subscribe button and make sure your bell notifications are on so you don't miss a video. And for those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!